Yes, I do have equipment to do videos, but I don't want to use them right now. I want to lay on the couch. So that's what I'm going to do. Sorry. Just how it is. So, I need to stop saying sorry. Apparently, saying sorry too much is a characteristic flaw that is the most annoying to people, or people think it, or is the most disliked. Like if you're constantly saying sorry. Some article, I was like, oh shit, that's me. I say sorry all the time. I probably say sorry about 99, not 99, but like 50% of stuff that I probably shouldn't even apologize for. I have a really weird guilty conscience. Like I feel bad about saying something mean to like a girl in first grade. I'm not kidding. I'm like, I should have been nicer to that girl. And I wasn't even that mean, but I'm like, I should have been nicer to her. So that's just me. I guess if it's a flaw, whatever, just add it to my list. So I want to talk about a guy that is incredibly amazing, or was incredibly amazing. And he's actually he inspired me to write the book, basically. He was my mentor, he was my friend, and he actually recently, not recently, when was it? I think it was when was it? I don't know. It was like 5 months ago or something. I'm really bad with time, you know, but it was probably 5 months ago. But he passed away, and he was up there. He was in his, I don't know, he was in his late 70s maybe. I probably really should have got this more information about this before I did this video, but I'll talk about him more, and hopefully, I just need to keep doing these videos, and I'll feel more comfortable to not, I may still sound like this, I don't, okay, but anyways, stop mumbling. He was an amazing man. He was my mentor at the prison, is where I'm getting at with this long drawn out thing. He was my mentor, and so I have my associate licensed professional counselor. You take a test, it's pass or fail. I passed, and I'm going off another tangent, but a woman basically that I worked with before I worked at the prison was like, you're probably not going to pass the test. I'm like, great. So yeah, I passed, thank God. So all it was left for me to become fully licensed as a mental health counselor, because I was only partially licensed. I was pretty much fully licensed in the grand scheme of things. I was probably, I don't know, not a couple of meetings off from becoming full licensed through, Jesus. Basically, you have to meet with a supervisor to get fully licensed. You go and talk to the supervisor, or psychologist, I mean, is a better word, you know, psychologist, psychiatrist. They have to, you know, have one of those qualifications. And so you meet with them, you get your hours, and that's it. I was so close to getting my hours and becoming fully licensed. That didn't happen. That'll be for another story. I don't know why I'm even admitting this, because it's embarrassing too, but what do I have to lose? Basically, this great man was my supervisor, and he taught me a lot at the prison. He taught me so much, and he became almost like I mean, I have a father that's amazing, so I'm not going to say he became my father figure, but he was a type of that type of role, you know, the type of like father figure type, where I could go to him about anything that was bothering me, stressing me out, and he would talk me through it, because working in a prison is not easy. I mean, one of my first days, I'm seeing like literally veins out of a guy's arm, because he cut himself so bad that the veins were popping out. And I don't know how I wasn't grossed out back then, because now It's almost like I've gotten weaker as I've gotten older, like I've gotten more chicken shit. But if I watch a movie, I can't watch scary movies. It's freaking terrifying. So, I don't know how I was able to see veins coming out of someone's body and be okay with it, but I was able to. So, dealing with all the stress of having men tell you they're gonna rape you or kill you, or they're gonna come find you after you get out, or just horrible things. I mean, you also get the, I don't know, hey, Miss Lucas, I'm gonna get out and we're gonna become lovers. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, would never happen. Even if it wasn't an inmate, I would feel really, even if it was just an everyday person that I was counseling, that's ethically, I would not feel great about that. So it wasn't hard for me to tell inmates that, yeah, it's never going to happen. And I think because I was just genuinely honest about it, hopefully they got the hint. Of course, it's just, some of them, it didn't matter if you were gorgeous, ugly, fat, skinny, any kind of race. The men in there, any kind of gender, anything, it's just free for all. They want it all. They want the attention. They want, so you get even, doesn't matter who you were, you got sexualized a lot in the prison system. Surprising. I mean, I'm saying like even women that, anyways. So it was crazy. People, it smelled. You would walk up the stairs and there'd be pepper spray, and it's so freaking strong because they'd pepper spray one of the inmates. So if they pepper spray them, you'd be coughing like crazy. That was my first time dealing with pepper spray, but so it was a really, really big bummer. Bummer sounds light. It was hard. It was really, really hard to lose Dr. Jim Mash this year. Because, I'm gonna start crying. Oh God. I'm not gonna be one of those people that cry in freaking camera. That's so embarrassing. I'm not doing it. Okay, if I start, it's not because I actually ever cry. It's because I'm on these hormone pill things. That's another story. So if I start crying, it's not legit crying. It's because I'm on hormones and stuff. But okay, Jim Mash was an incredible man that got me through working at the prison. Hold on a second. All right. Lose my voice. Oh Jesus. Okay, sorry. Oh my God. I don't want to ruin this video and have to re-record. And if I start crying, I'm going to have to re-record because I'm going to be embarrassed to post a video of someone crying. Okay. I'm not going to be that person. All right, so, it's hard. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I lost him. So, oh God, it's the hormones. It's not me, it's the hormones. So, oh God. I'm not redoing this freaking video. It's been 8 minutes and it's felt like 20 or longer. So, he was a great man. Suck it up. Okay, he was a good man, an amazing man, who was kind of like a father figure type to me. And I don't lose a lot of people in my life, so it was obviously he was up there in age, so it wasn't, and he had a lot of health problems when he left the prison. He ended up getting Lyme disease and just all kinds of other health issues. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't probably even started the book. Shit. All right, hold on, let me get it together. Check it out. All right, God. Oh shit. Okay, this is not me crying. It's the freaking hormones. Because I never cry. I cry once a year. Even traumatic shit I don't cry about. I cry once a year. And it's just like a good to like get out of your system. It's usually like hormonal. So anyways, all right, back to, let me just get back to this. Oh my God, 10 minutes. It feels like I've been talking for an hour because it's hard not to mess these things up. So I like to do short videos. All right. So I don't know, it wasn't his idea to start writing the book. It was my idea to start writing the book. But I told him, he was the first person I told that I started writing this book. And I started writing the book while I was in the prison. So I'm sure, judge me, I deserve to be judged for that. But it wasn't like during, I mean, sometimes it was during office hours, I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of times it was like during lunch. And I stopped kind of like socializing, which probably wasn't good either. Like I kind of became more just intertwined with this book. And so literally at my lunch break, I'd be writing it. But Dr. Maish told me, he's like, don't write it in here or hide it. Because he knew the dynamics of prison are very political. They're very, they do a lot of shady crap in prison. And I mean, that's not just the inmates, that's the staff, that's the higher ups, that's, you know, there's a lot of shady stuff, and there's a lot of like but there's also maintaining, you know, one's view on the outside of, you know, this pristine or this together organization or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, so for them to, they're not going to want me to be going around talking about what I'm experiencing in a prison. Because, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't scared of them. Dr. Maish was more like, he was scared I was maybe going to get fired if they found the book I was writing. So he's like, yeah, you need to try to keep it on the DL. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take that advice. Even though I wrote in the prison sometimes. And I had my own little like office, right? I had my own little cubicle. It had, you know, the thick see-through glass surrounding it. I don't know how to really explain. I'm not good at explaining. I hope I'm better at describing in my book than I am in person, but I might, who knows, I might suck at it. But yeah, maybe I'm not good at it, especially not verbally. So you'll just have to come up with your own thing, or maybe I'll try to draw it. I don't know, I'd probably be better drawing than speaking about it. But basically it's, you know, the steel, brownish doors that close and are thick, and the windows were, I didn't have any actual windows in my office at the prison. It was, and there really weren't that many windows in the prison, so it was pretty depressing a lot. So you had the like ugly fluorescent lights and all that. But you'd walk in past the, I'll explain this later, but basically, sorry, excuse me. Sorry about the cursing too, I don't like cursing. But basically, oh, freaking A. It was walls that looked more like a school, you know, like an elementary school walls, you know, those brick looking that are painted. That's what we had in our office, but it was cream colored. And then you had, so it was enclosed, there's no windows. And then where the clear part was, I could see out to where you would meet with inmates. It's like a big open room, and there were offices next to me. I couldn't see anybody next to me unless I'd walk out of my little cubicle thing, and I'd see the other offices next to me with their glass window things. They didn't have outside windows either. So just to kind of give you a little basic idea. And I would write in my little office, and if someone came to the office door, I would try to hide it because I didn't want anyone to know. And I didn't tell, well, I started to tell people that I wrote that in my book too, because I did start to become an idiot and tell people I'm writing a book, which I should never have told anybody that. I don't know, just kind of started to lose it. There's more to Dr. Maish. I feel like I've been talking too long and I need to get my thoughts organized. I gotta get better at this. No. I'm posting it. This is a learning experience for me, so it's gonna take a lot of time to get my act together, if I ever do. And I know I keep repeating that too. Thanks for watching. I've got more to come. Maybe I'll try to set up, I'm not going to keep promising, I'm going to set up a video that I haven't yet, so I'll leave it at that. But Dr. Maish was a wonderful man, and I miss him. And actually, I'm not going to stop because I want to say a couple more things about Dr. Maish. So Dr. Maish was a psychologist. He had experience with, he had worked at different prisons, and he had actually had his own private practice at one point. And he, I guess, wanted to try his hand at prison again, or I don't know the ins and outs of if he did the private practice after the first prison or not. But he had experience working in prisons. And he told me a story about, he told me a story about the first time he worked in a prison. And he said that one of the guys, actually no, I don't want to tell the story. One of the guys that was a prisoner tried to get over some wall, and there were alligators in the water. I'm going to retell this story better when my thoughts are less jumbled, but because it is a good story and I'm ruining it. But he just made me laugh. Like, he'd tell me all these stories that made me laugh, and he was very blunt and honest, and he straight up said, because after a while I was like, there's a lot of corrupt freaking security guards in this prison, like a lot of corrupt security guards. And he's like, yeah. He said, and there are a lot of lazy, I mean, I don't want to diss all security guards. There's some really hardworking, so don't like take this personally if you're a security guard, because it's not an easy job. But there were a lot of lazy ass security guards that were douchebags, or a lot of women that, I don't know. There were some really nice women too, so I don't want to diss everyone, but he's just like, yeah, the first day this isn't Dr. Maish, the first day I got to a prison, the security guys in Georgia State Prison, he came over and said, I need to see an inmate, because we would take inmates out for individual counseling where they weren't around the other inmates. So he went up and he said, I'd like to get my inmate out to see them for their individual counseling. And he told me, the security staff, straight to his face, told him, I'll get them out when they're goddamn good and ready. That's literally the story he told me. And I'm like, damn. So, and I wasn't that surprised that he was telling me these things after some time working in the prison. That those type of stories now seem pretty normal, because they could be dicks, you know. Again, I have more stories about really great security staff who were absolutely some of the best people ever. So yeah, so don't take that personally if you're security staff. And I'm sorry if I'm mixing up the names. When I first got to the prison, I started calling security staff security officers, and I think they like to be called, well, they used to like to be called correctional officers, right? Or COs, I think it was. But when I got to the prison, I didn't know that. So the first security guard I saw, I was like, oh, can you tell that security guard, the first security officer I saw, I said, can you tell that security guard to get this inmate out or whatever? And they're like, don't call us that. Do not call us security guards. We are security officers. And they were like really serious about it. I'm like, geez, sorry. And I think in my book, refer to them as security guards sometimes. I'm sorry, but it's hard. That's what I was ingrained in my brain since I was a kid for some reason. So I tried to be mindful of that and use correctional officers or COs. COs. Hopefully, I'm not saying it wrong. But so that's just an example of one of the funny stories Dr. Maish told me, and just how the COs, like I said, interact with you. They can either love you or hate you, and you hope that they love you, because if they don't like you, it might be harder to get inmates out of their cell. And even if they don't care whether, if they like you or don't like you, they may still just have that attitude. But at the same time, I mean, not that anyone should talk to a mental health counselor like that, but I understand also their frustration, because they have to kind of have that attitude to deal with the inmates a lot of times just to kind of get through the day. So in that aspect, I get it. But yeah, more to come about him. But he just, I would go and have sessions with him, and he would help me with the inmates, and he would teach me, she would teach me how to manage it mentally. At least he would help me with that. He would teach me some of the best maneuvers to deal with an inmate that's hard to deal with, or an offender that's hard to deal with. And it's really sad I didn't finish this book before he died. But more stories to come when I am less hormonal or whatever I am right now. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.